Welcome to the program. We begin the bulletin with the latest survey conducted by Infotrak on the most preferred presidential candidate as well as the most popular political party in the country today. Let us now take a look at the numbers provided by Infotrak on our Super Bowl just to see what is being said as being and who is being said to be the most preferred and popular presidential candidate as at now. And just looking there, we see that President Uhuru Kenyatta stands with, if this record is what we are taking, it's President Uhuru Kenyatta is topping that list at 44.5%. That is where he stands in terms of popularity, presidential popularity. He's followed next there, not a very close second, by Raila Odinga of CORD at 27.8%. And among the people who don't know where they stand and who their preferred presidential candidate is 12.1%. Let's move on to the next board just to see among the presidential aspirants popularity among the youth. So just to be very specific on the demographic there, and among the youth, President Uhuru Kenyatta's popularity stands at 39.6%, followed by Raila Odinga, who stands at a close second of 30.7% in terms of popularity among the youth. Peter Kenneth comes third there in this particular group that we saw during the last general election, having been very excited to have a young political presidential aspirant. Peter Kenneth there coming at a distant third of 4.6% amongst the youth popularity in the presidential aspirant category. And William Ruto is coming there fourth at 1.7%. Let's move on to the next board, where we take a look at the popularity of political parties, and JAP takes a lead in this category at 30.1%, followed at a close second by the ODM party at 26.2%, followed by the Wiper Democratic Movement Kenya at a distant 2.6%. That is in terms of party popularity, followed down there by URP at 1.7%, and lastly KANU standing at 1.3%. Just the latest, figures that were given this morning by the Infotrak in terms of popularity in those various categories given this morning. And later on, we shall be speaking to our reporter, Murimi Mwangi. I understand that he's actually on standby. Murimi, if you can hear me, what can you tell us about this in terms of which particular group of people, were interviewed or in this survey, and do we know what number of people were involved in this?
Good afternoon, Sharon. Now, this is a survey that was conducted between March 6th and 10th, and that means it's just a few weeks ago. And of course, 1,800 people were interviewed across 26 of the 47 counties. I did put that question to them on the criteria for the selection of the counties that were to feature in the survey. And of course, for the 26 counties, if I just give a simple interpretation of that criteria, if for instance they are considering the Rift Valley, then they have to get counties from the North Rift and the South Rift. Same case applies to Eastern, where they get some counties from Upper Eastern and Lower Eastern. But of course, there are critical counties that had to feature in the survey, including counties such as Mombasa, Machakos, Nairobi. And so of the 1,800 people that were interviewed, when the question was put to them whom they would vote for if the presidential elections were held today, majority of them, of course, affirmed that they would vote for President Uhuru Kenyatta. This is of course, an improvement. You remember just last year, Uhuru's standing from a similar poll was at just over 33%, and now he's at 45%. And second, as you put it, is Raila Odinga. But interestingly, on the political outfits that most people support, a young party, the Jubilee Alliance Party, which was formed just a few months ago, is at the top. And this is perhaps the first time that we're seeing a party affiliated to the Jubilee coalition overturning that consistent lead of the ODM party, which has for very many years been the most popular party here in the country. But of course, course, many might argue that the fact that the Jubilee Alliance Party managed to clinch the senatorial seat in Kericho and give ODM a run for their money in Malindi would perhaps be some of the reasons that many out there might have cited as at the time when this survey was conducted. Remember, the two by-elections were held on March 7th. The survey was conducted between March 6th and 10th. So, of course, the political temperatures as at that time were quite high. But interestingly, if you look at the Jubilee Alliance Party, it's not the official wagon that President Uhuru Kenyatta is set to use in 2017. Remember, it's just a temporary party. There's still the Jubilee Party, which was supposed to be launched as the 31st of this month, but had to be pushed ahead, of course, due to legal constraints that were cited by the Jubilee Brigade with regard to their members in TNA, URP, and many other parties now decamping into the Jubilee Party. So the scores that Jubilee Alliance Party has taken might as well move to the Jubilee Party once it's officially launched for the presidential bid of President Uhuru Kenyatta and his deputy William Ruto. Sharon.
Well, thank you so much, Murimi Mwangi, there, just giving us a detailed analysis of the figures that we just saw there released this morning by Infotrak, showing the popularity of presidential candidates as well as political parties as it stands now and across different demographics. And we shall have, various kinds of analysis of this particular information just coming in across and during our subsequent bulletins. Moving on, CORD leader Raila Odinga and his brigade asking the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission to quit office. Odinga, who together with other CORD leaders were attending the burial of former cabinet minister who served in Moi's government, Wilson Ndolo Aya, in Seme-Kisumu County, said that the IEBC was the government's puppet. The latest developments come days after IEBC dropped a bombshell on CORD's Okoa Kenya referendum push, where they said that irregularities occurred during the 1 million signature collection process.
Time every now and then, and they are affiliated to Jubilee government. What we are telling Uhuru Kenyatta is that we are aware what they are doing. They might kill, they might try and attempt to kill Okoa Kenya, but Okoa Kenya is alive and kicking. The government must go. The government knows it is gone. It is just what we do to send it home.
The Constitution does not allow anybody to form a government on the basis of rigged elections. That one the Constitution does not allow. And this Constitution recognizes the people of Kenya with the people of Kenya. When we decide to take our sovereignty back, nobody can defeat the people of Kenya.
IEBC must be a servant of the people of Kenya. What they have done is an insult to the intelligence of the Kenyan people. We as a movement are not bad to have taken fake signatures to IEBC. Those signatures were painstakingly collected and verified. That's why it took a very long time to do the verification.
Now, villagers of Namelok in Kajiado County are mourning the death of a herds boy who was killed by a rogue elephant in the bush yesterday. The killing infuriated villagers who later assembled more than 300 Morans to go after the elephant. There was drama as the angry Morans, armed with spears, trailed the elephant from Amboseli to Kimana Sanctuary with a mission of killing it. Kenya Wildlife Service officers watched in disbelief as the Moran bayed for the blood of the elephant.
Aliwakuta kwa kifuli kama hii, kasambaratisha kapata mmoja, ilimkimbiza distance karibu 1 kilomita kamua. Sasa jana hiyo ndo tukio ilianzia, unaona hiyo fita mpaka saizi ni hawa wanyama ya ndovu, na hiyo ndovu ni tukio ya pili kiwa watu.
Tunajaribu kutuliza hawa ili ile mnyama ambaye hajafanya makosa isiwawe, lakini bado tu tunafuata ili tuipate, kwa maana ni mnyama ambaye amejulikana nyoyo yake na imejulikana ikifanya madhara kama hiyo anahama anaenda sehemu nyingine.
Now, the saga surrounding the leasing of Imbirikani land in Kajiado by Bamburi Cement has deepened after local leaders said that they will resist the move. Kajiado Governor Dr. David Nkedianye said the lease should not take place until all members of the Imbirikani Group ranch are consulted. Nkedianye, who was accompanied by other local leaders, condemned a last week incident in which 2 people died during protests over the plans to lease the land.
Wananchi wa Imbirikani na ambao ni wanachama wa hii group ranch wamesema kwamba hakuna shamba itapeanwa. Hata nani akija, hakuna shamba itapeanwa. Today we have come to Imbirikani group ranch as a follow-up to a meeting we held last Saturday, where 2 people were shot dead. And up to now, those people have not been accounted for. We have not had anyone following up to say that those people were shot by somebody who had a gun, and that that person who had a gun must be held accountable.
Now, more than 24 groups of donkey owners assembled at Meru Town in an initiative that seeks to create awareness on responsible donkey management and creating a clean environment. According to Robert Maitethia, chairman of the Meru County Donkey Welfare Agribusiness CBO, this is an annual event that will see the cleanup of most counties in the country. Esto Mureithi of the Heshimu Punda program says that donkeys create jobs for the youth and provide income for many households in the county and should therefore be treated with dignity.
We have brought together donkey owners to form a big cooperative, a SACCO, that is putting donkey owners together, making them responsible for the donkeys as well as the environment. That's why we have a cleaning today. Initially we are starting this as an annual event to particularly mark one day in a year when donkey owners have committed to take responsibility of the environment and also of the donkeys that are bringing produce to the market.
Lengo letu kuu lile tuliangalia tukiwa na viongozi hao wa vikundi ama wa hiyo CBO ni kuona ya kwamba punda wetu walikuwa wanakula takataka ile ambayo ilikuwa inawadhuru, wengine walikuwa wanaaga dunia ama wanafariki, na ikawa gharama kubwa sana kwa watu hao punda. Na unajua punda analeta mapato mengi kwa jamii, hasa sana tukiangalia mambo ya elimu, tunatumia mapato yale ambayo tunapata na hizo punda kuelimisha jamii.
Interesting news there. Now, the National Transport and Safety Authority NTSA officers mounted the latest operation against drunk drivers in Kisumu last night. It was not so lucky for 6 drivers who were arrested during the operation after they were found to have had 1 too many drinks, exceeding the acceptable limit. However, it is emerging that drunk drivers have now devised a destructive way of avoiding arrest by the police and the National Transport and Safety Authority, where some of them decided to drive over the spiked barriers at break high speed. According to NTSA officials who were in charge of the operation led by Deputy Director Cosmas Ngeso, the mobile crackdown on drunk drivers is aimed at reducing accidents during the Easter holiday. Now, newly elected Kericho Senator Aaron Cheriot is asking the working class to always go back to their previous schools and help develop it further. He says that there is need for them to plow back to the society in order to benefit other students. Cheriot, who was recently elected on a job ticket, was speaking during a fundraiser at Cheptenye Boys High School in Kericho County, where more than 500,000 shillings was raised for the construction of a dormitory.
Please, my advice, do not allow any bad influence that is seated amongst you to destroy your life. You better match them, bring them to the administration, and let it be known that these are the ones who are giving Cheptenye boys a bad name.
I'm going to take a short break now. Don't go too far. I'll be back shortly with more news. Well, thank you for staying with us. You're watching Weekend at 1. The head of the Anglican Church in Kenya, Eliud Wabukala, is urging the people of Kenya to shun tribalism and all practices that may destroy our nation, especially with the coming 2017 general elections. The Archbishop, who is set to retire mid this year, also urged the politicians to be civil and avoid all forms of hate speech that will polarize the nation.
It's a time to put away all that holds us back. For Kenyans, we want to say that there is hope in restoring everything that we think is lost. There's a great hope to bring back a trust between families, trust between individuals. We need to bring trust back to the institutions that have been formed to run this society. I particularly will appeal to all of us to bring trust to the Electoral Commission and also ask that people given the responsibility to run the elections of this country work hard and also bring trust to their work.
And from that Easter message, we want to talk sports news now, and specifically that big match that is expected later on this afternoon, the match between Harambee Stars and Guinea-Bissau. And we now want to cross over to our City Center studio, where our sports reporter and anchor Abula, actually live from the Nyayo National Stadium, where our reporter Abula Ahmed is standing by. Abula, what is the mood right now, if you can tell us about that?
Now, thank you very much, Sharon Momanyi. Here at the Nyayo National Stadium, fans have already started streaming in. They came as early as 11 a.m. To witness their team Harambee Stars, which will be here playing Guinea-Bissau in the return leg of the African Cup, 2017 Africa Cup of Nations qualifying match against Guinea-Bissau here at the Nyayo National Stadium. The match will start at around 4 p.m. local time. Remember the first leg, which was played about 3 days ago in Guinea-Bissau, Kenya lost by a single goal to nil. Right now, Kenya need to win this match in order to stand a chance of qualifying to Gabon in 2017, the Africa Cup of Nations. Remember, the last time Kenya qualified to the Africa Cup of Nations was in 2004 in Tunisia. 12 years down the line, Kenya is still struggling maybe to find a chance of qualifying to the biggest showpiece in Africa. With me here is a fan who has come to support the national team Harambee Stars, although they did not perform very well during Wednesday's match at Guinea-Bissau. Maybe he's optimistic that they are going. Harambee Stars will perform well. Welcome, Job. His name is John Baraza, all the way from Kawangware. Welcome, and tell us, what are your expectations today?
Okay, game ya leo kama mimi naombea tu timu yetu ushindi, kwa sababu hiyo siku tulifanya mistake, lakini kocha alikuja kugundua late, ndio tulipata tunajaribu kwenda kwa afya wa jamaa. Leo wakianza na wale watu wenye walimaliza game, at least game itakuwa poa.
Na mechi watu wengi sana walighadhabishwa na ile mechi ya Guinea-Bissau, kusema kuwa kikosi ambacho kilichezeshwa pengine hakikuwa kikosi kizuri. Unatarajia leo mkufunzi Stanley Okumbi pengine ataenda na kikosi kizuri na kuchukua ushindi pengine?
Ni time wa change tu, kwa sababu wewe chukua mchezaji anacheza national wide, unaacha mwenye Premier League ako juu kuliko, kwa sababu unachukua huyo fitness yake haiko level na ule mwenye anacheza Premier League. Ni time tu a change, kwa sababu akichange tutapata leo ushindi.
Watu wengi sana walikasirika na wengine wamesema pengine hawaji hapa. Tiketi zaidi ya 20,000 zimetolewa ili watu wanunue za 300 na zile za 1,000 katika maeneo ya VIP kuja kutazama hii mechi. Jambo gani ambalo limekutoa Kawangware kuja mpaka hapa kutazama mechi na ikilinganishwa matokeo ya Harambee Stars?
Okay, ni kuja upande wa tiketi. Kama Nick president wetu, tiketi angeanza na 500, 200 ndio watu wakuje wengi wa support timu yao, kwa sababu huko tulifail. Hapo lazima wanatafuta ushindi, na ushindi utakuja na mashabiki. Lakini sasa mwekea mashabiki bei ya juu, unapata hata game sasa mashabiki tutakosa mashabiki.
Na ubashiri wako pengine mechi ya leo, unaona Kenya itashinda kwa mabao mangapi?
2-1.
2-1.
Yeah, 2-1.
Nani pengine atafunga mabao?
Olunga, engineer kawaida. Olunga, yeah.
Okay, sir. Asante sana. Now, Sharon, remember Kenya has only 1 point in the 3 matches that they've played. The first match, remember Kenya drew with Congo away, and then we lost here by 2-1 against Chipolo of Zambia, which we are going to play later away in Zambia. And then the third match we lost on Wednesday against Guinea-Bissau away at the Estadio de Setembro by a single goal to nil. A goal scored by Idrissa Kamara in the 18th minute. And fans maybe hope that we are going to win this match and maybe get the chance to represent the country in the Africa Cup of Nations 2017 in Gabon. With me here is among the people who have been working hard to make sure that the match here goes on as planned. James, welcome. Tell us how are the plans and how have you reached so far?
Well, I can say that on behalf of the Federation, I can say we've really tried. We were here at 6 in the morning preparing the grounds. We started with security, ensuring that the grounds are well secured, and that has been accomplished. We have hundreds of police officers and NYS personnel. So yes, we've prepared. Logistically, we've prepared. And now, of course, as we build up towards the kickoff, we believe all is set.
Yeah, they believe all is set, sure. Now, Sharon, as you can hear that fans have already started streaming in here at the Nyayo National Stadium, waiting for the match, which will kick off at around 4 p.m. local time, waiting to see if Kenya is going to bag all 3 points and maybe get a chance to qualify to the Africa Cup of Nations in 2017 in Gabon. Back to you, Sharon Momanyi.
All right, thank you very much, Abula, bringing us up to speed about that very important game expected at 4 p.m. this afternoon. Stakes are very high, as Abula reports there. It is a match that will see whether Harambee Stars will proceed on to the African Cup of Nations.